It was good. Did everybody have a nice holiday, a nice Christmas? Did you guys all enjoy? Was Santa good to you? Did your babies enjoy it? Did you have first Christmases this year? I want to hear about your Christmases, and then we'll do some questions and just finish up the year, just a little bit of time together. Okay, so yeah, how was your Christmas? Happy New Year. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. You got questions. Okay, let's just do your questions. Then you guys can tell me about your holidays. So, can I please touch on pumping and increasing milk supply after baby rejects the breast? My supply decreased after returning to work and no longer and no longer wants to take the breast. I'm struggling to even pump it out. So I just want to know what steps to take to get back on the ball again. This was you. Oh, hold on. Wait. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Okay, so after you went back to work, your baby stopped taking the breast, and so pumping has been a struggle. You know, the main thing that you need to do, remember that your body is responding to how much you are pumping from it. That's all it knows, how much milk is being expressed from the breast. So yes, when the baby latches and nurses at the breast, the baby is way more efficient than the pump. And typically will drain the breast better, and will also get hungry and remind you to feed, which the pump doesn't do. So you tend to go longer stretches, or you can go longer stretches with the pumping than you do with feeding. That right there will decrease your supply, as well as the pump not efficiently getting the milk out as well as the baby. That will decrease your supply. Other than that, your body does not know how that milk is coming out, only that it is emptying, and then it will produce more. Excuse me, because I have a little bit of a cold, so I need a tissue. Okay, and so the thing that I would say to you is to make sure that that you are pumping frequently, okay? I was just talking to a mom this morning, and she was saying how she's pumping every 4 hours because she doesn't feel full until that point. And I've seen that from some of you guys posting here about, you know, waiting 4 hours because you're not really full until then. But we've talked about this before, that waiting, long waiting till you actually feel full is going to decrease your supply, not increase your supply. So you want to feed frequently, even if you're only getting small amounts. So my recommendation is, if you're pumping every 3 or 4 hours, up that to every 1.5 to 2 hours, even if you're only getting an ounce out at a time, or half the amount out at a time, or even just a small amount. Do it more frequently and keep the breast empty. The emptier the breast, the more milk you will make. The fuller the breast, the less milk you will make. It is the opposite of what we mostly expect, okay, or what seems logical. That's not how it works. If the breast empties out, if the breast is constantly empty, it's a signal to make more milk. So number one thing you can do is keep that breast empty as frequently as possible. And when you're trying to increase supply, that is, sorry, I'm looking down because my computer's saying something to me there. That is how you're going to increase your supply. Okay, so also take a look at what else you're doing. You know, you're back at work. Are you getting dehydrated? And you know that drinking more water doesn't make more milk, but dehydration can decrease your supply. So if you're not hydrating enough at work, make sure you're drinking enough. If you are, you know, the stress can actually start to have all kinds of effects on your body. So all those things can add to a decreased supply when you go back. And try to do lots of skin to skin with your baby when you're home. Even if she won't go back onto the breast, wearing her when you're home, taking naps, sleeping together, those things are going to help you with milk supply as well. So, okay. Does it look straight? I don't know. The new Facebook format here, it looks strange to me. I look like I've got all your posts over my face, and I don't know is that how it's showing up, Joe, guys? So you can see me, but it's just, okay, I'm going to lower this and see, because it's distracting to me. How's that? Is that better? Oh, there's a delay. It says that. There's a delay. Can't answer your question right away. I want an answer like that. Okay, yes. Thank you. We did have a lovely vacation, and you guys had a great holiday. Kaylin, Emmett's first Christmas here, and the wrapping paper was a hilarious experience. Yes, usually it's everything other than the presents that are super fun. I remember one year I got Talia, my youngest. We had a retail store for like 10 years, and she used to love bubble wrap, okay, you know, like that stuff you pop. So I remember one year I was ordering from my supplier and I said I'm gonna just get her a giant box of bubble wrap, and I got her this big roll. It was like a giant roll, big box, like up to here. We just pulled it out and it was like the big bubbles, and that was the best gift she ever got. She played with that and it was just like pop, 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 standing on it, you know. She was like, what, 2, 3? Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Always liked the wrapping paper, the boxes, and the bubble wrap more than the presents inside. Yeah, we spend all that money and it's not worth it. Okay, my lips are in the first line of writing. They're in the, yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Okay, so what is it that we have to do here? It's strange, right? Do I have to sit up taller? I can't get this to go lower. Yeah, it's really weird. And it feels weird to me too. Okay. How's that? You know what, Joe? Where's that thing to sit on? I need something to sit on. I need to go a little bit higher, and I can't get my...
It's the problem with cleaning up.
It's the problem with cleaning up. You can't find anything? We cleaned up? Oh, now we can't find... Okay, wait. Oh, you got your new Even Flow Balance bottles, and they're amazing. Yeah, they are amazing, aren't they? Yeah, those are amazing. Great bottles. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if there's any other questions here. What about skin to skin time? That would help. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Perfect. Yep. So you guys know the answers to all these things. Okay. All right. Let's answer a question from that someone posted online. This came from, no, this was just today. Okay. Cirilla. After 8 beautiful months of exclusively pumping for my son, my journey has come to an end. I have to have some surgery done on my breast to prevent possible infection and constant draining. I need to dry up first. I naturally have an oversupply and large capacity, so my breasts fill up quickly and become big as bowling balls. What is the most effective way for me to start the decrease in milk? Because I really don't want to spend the next who knows how long crying in pain. Well, there's really 2 answers to this question, because one part of her question, which is a very direct question, is how do I dry up my milk? I have to have surgery on a breast, and I need to dry up the milk to have that surgery. Not really sure what the surgery is for. Baby's 8 months old, but you know, she wants to dry up. Now, the first part of the question is how to do that, how to dry up the milk. But the part that she's not asking that I want to answer for her anyway is, do I need to dry up both sides if I need to have surgery on one breast? Okay, because really, your baby is going to need breast milk for at least another 4 months minimum, and longer, ideally. So do you really need to dry up both breasts to have that breast surgery? Your breasts are independent of each other. That means that you can dry up one side and still make milk on the other. And I've had moms do this, 1, because either the baby won't nurse on one side, 2, because they're having recurrent mastitis on one breast, or a lot of plug ducts, or some kind of issue with one side, and just continue to feed on the other. Or situations like this where, you know, somebody needs to have some type of surgery on one breast and needs to dry up the milk for whatever reason. So, you know, Cirilla, the answer is you don't necessarily have to dry up both sides. So that's just to start that, because that would eliminate the need to move to formula at this point completely. You could continue to pump on one side and give your baby breast milk. Now, that being said, if you don't want to do that and you're ready to just quit completely and you want to go to formula, totally fine. The best way to dry up your milk is to do this slowly, okay? Trying to do this overnight is not a good idea. That's when you're going to wind up very engorged, where you are going to be in pain, where you could run the risk of breast infections, mastitis, and engorgement, and all the other things that go with it. So I really feel that the best way to do this is to do it slowly. The best way to wean is to start expressing a little bit less each day. So if you're exclusively pumping, as you say that you are, you're going to pump less than what you normally do. So say you're pumping 3-4 ounces at a sitting for your baby, you're going to start pumping enough to get the breast empty, but just not to empty the breast, but to just get comfortable. So it might be 2 ounces or 2.5 ounces. And then you're going to wait again. The next time you're going to pump 2.5 ounces. And then the next day, just keep decreasing the amount as your body is responding to it. By draining the breast, if you're like, oh, I feel really full, and then you go drain the breast, again, you're going to make more. So that would be the first thing, is to start slowly decreasing the amount that you're pumping. There's also things that you can do, like keep a good supportive bra on all the time too, where you're not allowing the breast to just fill completely. So you're actually wearing something supportive, not compressing, but a nice snug nursing bra. Hopefully more one that's like a sleep bra that's comfortable. I like the Bravado. They make a sleeping, the original bra. It's a good one to keep on day and night. Keeping the breasts in the bra is going to help. Applying ice packs to the breast, applying cabbage leaves. Okay, so we're talking about raw cabbage. You take a leaf off the cabbage, use a rolling pin to kind of soften it up and stick that inside your bra, and that will help you start drawing milk as well. He makes a no more milk tea, and the no more milk tea has sage in it. Sage is an herb that can help to decrease milk supply, so it's great when you're trying to wean, to start drinking the tea as recommended on the package. It's like, I think 3 cups a day or something like that, but you can start drinking sage tea. Peppermint is an herb that will dry up milk as well. Sage, so those are some of the things that you can do. Mainly it's just slowly decreasing the amount of expression. But keep in mind what I said earlier, which is you don't have to do both breasts. You could keep your milk going on one side if you want to keep giving breast milk to your baby. So that's an option for you. It's an option a lot of people are not aware of. Do you need to give me something? Hearts? Oh, he's reminding us. How about some love? How about some hearts? Oh, there it is. Okay. This is fine. Okay, I'm just going to sit on something. Oh, perfect. That's good. Yes. Okay, so as we always do, we do hearts after a question, after an answer. We throw a lot of love around here. So let's see some hearts from all of you guys. And love for Cirilla. Good luck with your surgery, whatever's happening. We wish you the best, okay? We wish you the best. Thank you. There's the hearts. Lots of love. It's the holidays. It's us. We're here together, and we want to always make sure we're giving lots of love to all the mamas because we all need it. It's rough. It's rough we all know once we have the baby, when you're pregnant, you just don't realize how hard this is really going to be. And then once the baby arrives, it's like, oh my God, this is what they all talked about that I just didn't understand till this baby came, right? Okay. You were so into listening to me, you forgot to show love. Well, then I felt your love. Okay. I felt your love. Awesome. That's a good reason to forget to do hearts, is you were so into listening to the answer. That is the best reason I can think of. Excellent. Okay. Let's answer a few more here. Oh, what happened right here? Let's see. Okay. How many ounces? This is Courtney. How many ounces should a 3-month-old get in a bottle? We are breastfeeding, and the few times that I've taken her to the lactation clinic for a weigh-in and a feed, she's only taking 4 ounces. She's eating every 2.5 to 3.5 hours and sleeping through the night already. Is the 4 ounces sufficient? She also has reflux and spits up a bit still. Okay, yeah, so 4 ounces is like max. And it's not going to change much for the rest of the year. So you've got a 3-month-old who's taking 4 ounces, normal, very normal. A normal breastfed baby is going to eat somewhere around 1 ounce per hour. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be feeding every hour, although you could be. But what that means is start calculating 1 to about 1.25 ounces per hour and see what that comes out to be. So for example, if your baby is eating every 2.5 hours, they're probably probably eating somewhere between 2.5 to 3.5 ounces at that feeding. And that's why they're getting up earlier. If the baby goes 3.5 hours, it's probably because that feeding, the baby took somewhere between 3.5 to even 4.5 ounces at that feeding and slept a little bit longer. But that's just an average. But 4 ounces is a max or typical amount that a breastfed baby is going to eat. Sounds perfect, really. Like the feeding times are perfect. The fact that she's sleeping through the night, that's because she's getting all the milk that she needs during the day, getting plenty of it. You don't want to change anything. The only thing I could think of is when you're seeing the reflux and the spit up, reflux is not spit up. Although reflux can cause spit up. Not all babies that spit up have reflux, okay? So some babies are just spit, some babies just puke a lot, okay? And that is just normal because babies are born with a sphincter, and the sphincter is that opening that opens from the stomach into the esophagus. It's weak in a baby. And so lots of babies, when they're really full and they've had a big feeding, if you lay them down, if you don't burp them enough, that's going to come back up. And that's not really a problem other than your wardrobe or their wardrobe or the amount of laundry you're going to be stuck with. Lots of babies spit up often, and that's fine. It's only when your baby's like projectile vomiting with each feeding, when the baby is not gaining weight because of the amount of vomiting that's happening, that's when it becomes an issue. But that's not what you're describing here. I can see that from your question. So reflux is not necessarily because of the spit up. All right. One of the things you could do is think about, 4 ounces is sufficient. Could it be a little bit too much for your 3-month-old? Possibly. Okay. And so you might just have a very overactive letdown. You might have a lot of milk, which it sounds like you do have a lot of milk, and the baby's just eating more than the baby actually needs to eat and could be going long, shorter stretches, eating a little bit less at each feeding. All right. So that might be what's causing the spit up. The other thing it could be is that you're not stopping to burp the baby frequently enough during the feeding. And so those little air bubbles the baby's swallowing are causing the baby to spit up, which if, the baby's not crying and freaking out is not a huge deal, but still, it's a good idea to burp the baby. Okay. I told you guys I'm doing a burping video. I didn't get to finish it before vacation, but it will be out very soon. And you guys have seen burping techniques. You can go back through some of the old live streams and watch some of the burping technique. Hi, Cyrilla. I just answered your question. I see that you just got here. So you're going to have to go back and watch the replay. Of course, I answered yours first here. And then you missed it. Or maybe you didn't. I don't know. I see a little bit of don't get any, no, okay. It seems a little choppy to me, so I'm not sure, but hopefully not. Okay, Shannon, she's 10 days postpartum. Congratulations, Shannon. Your baby will only nurse for 5 to 8 minutes at a time. It doesn't seem long enough, and only one side. Thoughts? Okay, so my thought is that you must have a very efficient eater, okay? Feeder, nurser, okay? Feedings shouldn't take forever. And so this whole idea of timing your feedings, and I know you guys are going to be very used to hearing this and going to have it drilled into your head when you deliver, especially in the hospital. Do 20 minutes on each side. Your pediatrician, first thing they're going to ask you, how long does your baby nurse on each side? It seems to be one of the questions is to we're trying to quantify how well your baby's doing based on how long they suck at the breast, okay? The two don't equate because the length of time that the baby eats at the breast is not telling us how much the baby is actually getting, all right? So we really can't determine that by length of time at the breast, depending on how fast of a flow you have, depending on how efficient your baby is at sucking and swallowing, how well their latch is, all those things, how heavy your letdown is. A baby could get a lot, like in the first 30 seconds with a very heavy letdown. So, and the other part of this too is how much do they need to eat at each feeding, because that varies too. So the number of minutes will actually get shorter and shorter as your baby gets older. You know, so usually in the beginning, babies can fall asleep and be sleepy during the feeding, so that could take a little bit longer. They're still getting used to the whole latch and suck and swallow thing. But as they get older, they start to become more efficient. Like you have very advanced hen do is eating 5 to 8 minutes on one side, probably because you have enough milk on the one side and getting everything they need. So I would say that my thoughts on that are it does seem long enough, given that your baby has the 4 things that I look for to make sure that your baby's got enough, and that has nothing to do with time. Now, anyone who's watched my Simply Breastfeeding program should be able to answer this question. What are the 4 things that I look for to know that a breastfed baby got enough? Let's have at least go ahead and post one of them if you know. What are one of the things? What are some of the things that we want to know, we want to see to know that a breastfed baby got enough? And I can tell you a hint, it is not time at the breast. So what are some of the things? And look at some love while we're doing this too. Enough wet diapers. Very good, Megan. But how many wet diapers are we looking for? How many wet diapers? How many wet diapers? Lots of wet diapers. Yes. Swallowing. Right. Very good. So swallowing, we want to have audible swallows. Audible swallows. That means that you can hear the swallowing. And does everybody know what a swallowing sound like? The swallowing sounds like, so the baby breathes, sucks, and sucks. Okay, that's a swallow. So audible swallows. Very good, Kate. 6 to 8 wet diapers in 24-hour period. Okay, 6 to 8 wet diapers in a 24-hour period. That's going to tell you the baby's got enough. So that's one thing. The audible swallows. Number 2. The third thing. What's the third thing? Okay, you feel your breast before the feeding. Okay, in the habit, all right? You put the baby on the pillow or you hold your baby, and right before you feed, you take your breast out and you kind of feel around a little bit and you feel the firmness of the breast. It's going to give you a good idea of like how full the breast feels. You'll get in the habit of doing that. You latch the baby, you nurse the baby on that side, you feel the breast again, breast is softer, baby's not soaking wet, not soaking wet, it's not there anymore, it's in the baby, okay? Very simple, but very concrete, okay? It went from here into the baby, the milk was transferred, the baby got milk. And then the 4th thing, what's the 4th thing? Does anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know? This one's a little hard. This one's the hardest one. You're getting delays. Yes, I know. I can see it. I can see it. The 4th thing is a satisfied baby. So a baby that comes off the breast full or, you know, relaxed, unclenched fist. Very good, Megan. Seeming satisfied. Or you put them back to the breast, but they're not really swallowing. They may suck, but they're not swallowing. They're not eating anymore. That is a not hungry baby. A baby that's not hungry got enough at that point, okay? Along with the other things. And then, of course, weight gain. Someone said, was that you, Marnie? Marnie said gaining weight. Yeah, except the problem with gaining weight is that you can't tell that in the moment. So I'm talking about the 4 things you can look for in the moment that have nothing to do with time at the breast, have nothing to do with ounces, okay? I always use this analogy, and I know it's funny, but it's true. If your body was meant to, if you were meant to know how much your baby was getting at the breast, because you can't see it, right? You can't see when the baby latches, you can't see how much they're eating. If you were meant to know how many ounces at each feeding, you'd have a little meter on the side of your breast, right? And it would say full, empty, okay? 4 ounces, 1 ounce, all right? And it doesn't do that. Why does it not do that? Because it doesn't matter. You don't need that information. And actually, when you start focusing on the clock for the time or the ounces, which is a bottle thing, it's not a breastfeeding thing. When you start focusing on that stuff, you actually start to interfere with the process that you don't need, which is my baby peeing? Is my baby pooping? Is my baby satisfied? Does my breast feel empty? Can I hear the swallowing? All those things can just be happening just very instinctually, right at that moment, you're going to get good at that. And you're going to go, I know my baby's doing all right. So even if you're not getting as much weight gain when you get to the pediatrician, you know your baby is hydrated. And I just had this conversation this morning with Lady, and I'm telling you, just as long as you know the baby's hydrated in the moment, that's the most important thing right there, okay? And then you can deal with the rest. You'll be following up. That was a mouthful. How about some hearts for that? Hearts for how we know our baby got enough. That is like, if I could just transmit that information right there alone to like as many moms as I possibly could, how many people would do so much better with breastfeeding, would be so much more relaxed, how many more babies would get everything they need without all this stress and anxiety that is drilled into us. So let's get some hearts for that, and go ahead and share that, okay? You're welcome, Shannon. Share that, because that was a good one. All right, that was good for people to hear. How many of you got something out of just hearing that alone? All right, how many people feel more at ease, more comfortable, more relaxed? I mean, that's the point of this. When we do these Q&As, my goal is to make sure that I am communicating something to you that's going to help you to relax into this experience, not to take it lightly, because it's not something to take lightly, but to trust yourself, to get the right information, to be knowledgeable so that you're not overwhelmed with all this other stuff that is meaningless and meant to just like give somebody something to write on a chart that doesn't have anything to do with the health and well-being of your baby or your ability to breastfeed. So I'm on a soapbox today. I'm sitting on something, so there you go. I am on my soapbox. I don't care. This is important. Yes. Awesome. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. You guys were the best. See, I missed you. That's I couldn't wait. So, I felt like we needed to do one last hurrah for 2016. I cannot believe this year is over. It went so fast. I don't know if you guys experienced that, but for me, I feel like it was just turning 2016. But I'm kind of ready for this year to be done. It was a pretty tough year for everybody in so many ways. I know personally it was not easy. The whole country, the whole world. It's just, yeah. We're ready for something new. I think everybody's feeling that. So I'm pretty excited about just saying goodbye and watching that ball drop tomorrow. So yes, I love you too. I love you too, Marnie. Awesome. Okay. Mammary construction syndrome. Okay. I don't know what you're asking there. Okay, but there must be a reason you're putting that there. I have no idea. Okay. Oh, do I know anything about it? No, I don't know. I really don't know what you're talking about there. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I know exactly what you're discussing. So no, I can't help you with that right this minute, but I'll look it up. Several years ago, your sister was going to quit breastfeeding because she didn't know if her baby was getting enough. Mom told her to pay attention to her body and she would know, and to stop listening to those who never breastfed. LOL. Yeah, good point there. Listening to people who did not breastfeed or did not have success with breastfeeding. Now, people mean well, okay? And I always ask people, you're taking advice from your sister, you're taking advice from your friend. Did they breastfeed? Well, yes, but for only like a week. Okay, nothing wrong with that, except that whatever caused them to stop breastfeeding, that's the kind of advice they may be giving, not realizing that that was the thing that was interfering with their own breastfeeding. So you have to be very, very careful about who you're taking advice from. And that even relates to some of the nurses you're going to encounter. It even relates to some of the physicians you're going to encounter. Not everybody is an expert in breastfeeding. And so many of you have spent time with me here listening, asking questions, getting advice over the past couple years. And I know that it's helped you. And it's important to find someone who is going to have that knowledge that you get need, okay? Here we go. It's internet. It's slow today. I could see it. Okay. How long did it take me to get my midwife degree? Oh, Kayla, it took me forever. Okay, so for some of you guys, just so you know my background, I was a labor and delivery nurse for 7 years. 7 years out of college. So I have a bachelor's degree in nursing. And then I went to work at labor and delivery nurse, which I loved, and I did that for 7 years. And then I got my master's degree in nursing, and I went to midwifery school. And midwifery school was a full year in addition to my master's program. And then I practiced for over 6 years, 7 years, in a clinic setting, in a different hospital settings. I had my own practice. I delivered 600 babies in my practice, and awesome, amazing. I did that until I was pregnant with Talia, my second. So I did that through my first pregnancy, through having Jade, and then stopped when I was pregnant with my second. I opened a retail specialty store at that point and started teaching classes. I became a lactation consultant. And for many of you guys, you know that part of the reason why I decided to stop practicing midwifery, to become an IBCLC, to specialize in breastfeeding, and start teaching was because of the struggles that I personally experienced with my own first baby, breastfeeding her. Here I was with all that experience, like I just explained. I was labor and delivery nurse. I was a midwife before I had kids. And so I was so involved in that whole community. I had so much education when it came to pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding, all of it, and yet I still struggled with some of the basic things that I'm explaining to you today. So if you don't know some of the things I'm talking about, don't feel bad. I had a master's degree. I was a midwife, and I still didn't know most of this stuff, okay? And I was making all the same mistakes that a lot of you guys are posting about, thinking that it was accurate, following the instructions that we were talking and telling people, or that I had read in books, or had read, not really in books, but in the lectures that I was getting in school or learning in the hospital, and it wasn't working. And I did push through it, and I did breastfeed exclusively, both the kids, nursed them both for over a year, both exclusively, and I did, but I struggled a lot, especially with Jade. I struggled a lot. So that's my story, and it was the reason why I stopped delivering babies and went into this instead. And I've never looked back with any regret at all, because I'm just so passionate. You can't tell that, right? That I'm passionate about what I'm doing here. I have a mission. I have a mission to support you guys, to support moms to breastfeed for as long as they want to support parents. It's not just breastfeeding. This is about supporting parents in all decisions, in having an awesome transition, in alleviating some of the stress that I know that Joe and I went through, that it was hard. And, if you had just one person that you could look to and say, here's my question, can you help me with this? To have somebody make you feel like, it's okay to not know all the answers, but you do have instincts and you do have gut feelings about parenting, that you should keep going with that, you are your own baby's expert. You are the expert. And that's actually the name of my company, is called My Baby Experts. And people think that has to do with me. And the truth is that it's not. It has to do with you. It has to do with all of us. And the fact that we are our own baby's experts. And yes, do we need advice? Yes, do we have questions? Yes, do we need to learn? Of course. That's what I'm here to help you with. But you are the expert. Nikki says, now that deserves hearts. Yes, hearts for all of you, hearts for me. I'm in this with you. I'm a mom too. No different, okay? Joe and I are building an entire parenting school right now, okay? You guys are going to love what is coming for 2017. Get excited. That's all I can say, is get excited, because we got some amazing stuff about to happen. And we're going to just start... I'm writing, we're teaching, we're going to start doing some great stuff, some live classes online, things that you guys want to hear about. So I know you're out there. I know you want it. I know you need it. And I'm ready to support you with it in many ways that I can. Okay. So hearts, 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 hearts. Yay. 3-year-old and spitting up. Is there any or something? Well, your 3-year-old having trouble with gas and spitting up. So a couple things come to mind when I read that. One is that you may not be burping enough. For those of you guys who've been watching me for a while, you know I'm a big burp advocate. It's like a new thing. A burping advocate. That means you need to burp your baby frequently, okay? It is a myth that breastfed babies don't need to burp. And I hear it all the time. Well, they're eating at the breast, so they're not swallowing air. They don't need to burp. They do need to burp, okay? They do need to burp. So typically the gas or the spitting up is caused from feeding, not burping frequently throughout the feeding. You want to take the baby off the breast, burp the baby, put the baby back on, and do that a lot, especially a 3-week-old that you may be still really full and engorged, so you have a lot of milk, okay? So they're first of all swallowing hard, gulping hard, and probably Hannah's sitting there right now, nodding her head, okay? Oh, the audio is so choppy. She's saying the audio is so choppy. Ah! Internet! Joe! It's cutting out so bad. How about now? Why do you think it's doing that? That's terrible. I can't stream. Okay. So, is it better? Is it better now? Give me a thumbs up if it's better, because I don't want to keep talking if you can't hear me. Is it any better? I don't know. And the delay. Can you hear me, Joe? A little better. A little better. Okay. I don't know why it does this. Okay. So anyway, we're back to Hannah's question about gas and spitting up. Okay, it's better. Good. Gas and spitting up. First of all, like I said, fullness of the breast, heavy letdown, baby's probably gulping really hard, not burping enough. That can cause the gassiness and the spitting up. The second thing is that when the breast is really full, especially in the first few weeks or the first 2 weeks when there's any kind of engorgement, or right after a growth spurt when the breast is full again, remember there is foremilk in that breast. That means that the initial milk coming out of the breast is more watery, less fat. The lack of fat in that foremilk makes it difficult to digest all the lactose that is in breast milk, which is 10 times the amount of cow's milk, okay? And that high lactose without the fat to help it digest can cause your baby to have a gassiness, fussiness, discomfort in trying to digest the milk, and can even cause some green stool and other things. The third thing that could be, you're asking, is it something in my diet? The third thing that it could be, and the first thing I would look at always when you think of gassiness or fussiness, or you're seeing some kind of a reaction possibly to your milk, is the cow's milk or the cow's milk protein that is in your own diet that will go through the milk and the baby is very often intolerant of, okay? So it's not all the other stuff, it's the cow's milk, okay? So those are some 3 things to look at. I'm not saying it's any one of those 3. I'm not saying it's all those 3. It's 3 possible reasons for this gassiness or the spitting up. Or it could just be that your baby's spitting up a little bit, totally fine, like we just talked about. Baby's gassy, farting, I don't know. Is the baby screaming, crying? Hard to tell. Gassy is fine as long as it's not bothering them. But those are some things to think about if you're talking about gas where there's like screaming all the time, okay? Hearts for farts. All right. I couldn't help myself. He's like, in there. Hearts. Let's do hearts for that. Thank you. Congratulations, Hannah. Congratulations. All right. Getting a little punchy. It's New Year's. Hey, why not? Why not, right? All right, let's do another question here online. Let's see. And is my audio better? I think it's better. You guys are not complaining. You're welcome, Hannah. You're welcome. Okay, so let's see. My little one. Okay, this is finally gone on, and it's frozen for you, Veronica. what can I tell you? I don't know. I don't know what to do. You know what? I know breastfeeding and I know how to teach, but I don't know how to stream this so that it won't be choppy, so that Facebook works for me, so that my router doesn't crap out. Still cutting out. I have no idea what to do, honestly. We've done everything. Have you guys seen that massive router that Joe just bought? If you haven't seen it, I'm going to take you for a walk and show it to you right now. Because you can see that we have actually tried the best we could to have a good router. It's massive. It's so ugly. Okay, this thing is ugly. It's right in my house here. Here it is, okay? I'm going to show you. Here it is, okay? All right. Tell me this is not massive, okay? It's sitting out. Look at it. That's a router. How many antennas can a router have? Have you ever seen anything like that before? It looks like we're trying to, like, you know, reach the satellite or something. It's like we got you know, yeah, wow, right, Megan? You see? Okay, do I need to stream closer to the router? Is that it? Oh, do I need to stream closer to the router? Joe's got his hand on his head like, I don't know what to do for you. I just don't. Should I sit right here? What? Should I just... Oh, he offered to reboot it and I was too impatient because I'm just that kind of person. I am pretty impatient. Oh well, that's just me. Live with it. He does. He lives with it. All right. So hopefully it's good. Okay. So you can see, I needed to show you that because you got to see what I'm looking at every day, and you can see that it is not for lack of effort. Okay. Who's texting me? I'm getting text. Probably your mom, Joe. All right. Anyway, I think we're going to see because unfortunately I feel like this is not going anywhere with this internet connection. I wanted to wish every one of you the happiest new year. May 2017 be your best year ever. I can't wait to spend it with all of you. Share this with friends. Come back and we'll do this again. Okay, post your questions and I will be back sometime early next week. We'll do it again quickly, okay? And we got a lot of great surprises for you, great things happening. If you are a student of one of my classes or you want to be, okay, go and get one of the classes so you can join a private group. We're going to have some great things going on there for 2017 as well. If you are a student and haven't joined the group and you need to know how, you can message me right on Facebook and I will send you the link. Okay. Happy New Year. I love you all very, very much. Enjoy, and I'll see you next year. Bye, everybody.